On this episode of AAW Redefined, we leave 2022 and we join 2023, possibly hotter than ever in the world of AAW. Such many exciting things that are going to be happening. We're going to recap what happened at Unstoppable, many highs, many lows, and many twists and turns. We also have news on the next big event that's going to be happening. It's called Legacy. Yes, this one is Legacy. We're going to be telling you all about tickets. They're actually on sale now. We'll be giving you more information in the coming weeks as well. All that and a whole lot more on this week's episode of AAW Redefined. Welcome back to another episode of AAW Redefined. My name is Mike Freland. As we turn the page from 2022, we enter 2023, possibly hotter than AAW Pro has ever been. We've seen amazing surprises, title changes, and so many different twists and turns in storylines and plots that, you know what, if you don't tune in, you're going to miss it. We have so many interesting things that we want to talk about, but you know what? The first thing that we need to address is what happened at Unstoppable. The Logan Square Auditorium was absolutely at a fever pitch capacity audience right there on the December 30th show. Now, as many of you do already know, titles were on the line. The Chi-Town Rumble was happening as well. So what exactly happened in the show? Let's go ahead and go back down memory lane so you can get ready for Legacy. We start off with Kevin Kellam backstage before the event even starts. He's with frontman Josh C. and Calvin Tankman. Well, something happened that no one expected. Josh C. decided that he was going to vacate the World Tag Team titles. He said he wanted to win them with his new partner, Calvin Tankman. Tankman agreed and said that he didn't deserve to be the tag team champion unless he actually won it on his own. So that was the way we started. We start off that with our very first match, and it was a great one. The Rascals brought it very, very much, but at the end of the day, Calvin Tankman with the Tankman driver, he and frontman Jossie officially become the AAW World Tag Team Champions. So much excitement was inside the building. Now officially, they can start finding out who's going to be the next contenders that are going to try to dethrone them. But I'll tell you what, these two guys right now, they're on the same page, so I truly have mercy on anyone who tries to climb through the ropes and take this gold away from them. Let's also talk about Calvin Tankman for a second. Calvin Tankman has been one of the most successful wrestlers on the indie scene. He's a large man, but he's got power and he's got pride. He's somebody that takes his craft very, very seriously, and when given the opportunity to be a champion in AAW, he took it very, very serious. Now, Josh C., very, very interesting 2022. After his tag team partner was unable to continue, he had a couple of different tag team partners that made things kind of interesting. But the big question in 2022 was, what was Josh C. ultimately going to do? Well, we found out. Calvin Tankman was the one who stepped in and showed his loyalty not only to Josh C., but to the AAW audience as well. Once again, they are the brand new AAW Tag Team Champions, and we're going to find out pretty soon who their first opponents are going to be, and that may be possibly happening at Legacy. Speaking of Legacy, that's going to be happening on February the 17th from the Berwyn Eagles Club. We can have more information as the show goes on as well. Let's talk about something else. When we talk about storylines and we talk about things happening within the industry, you can always expect the unexpected. Now, we know that Jake Something is the world champion, but some people may not be familiar with how that came about. Well, Kevin Kellam also ended up speaking during the show with Matt Fitchett, who really explained himself to the AAW audience and said, you know, ever since I've been out, I've been jonesing to get back. Now, what did Manders have to say about all of this? I'm going to tease you right now, but we're going to get to that. That is going to be volatile. It all revolves around the AAW World Heavyweight Championship. And speaking of which, was Mance Warner able to take the championship away? Or was Jake something able to retain his championship and live to fight another day? I'm going to get to that as well. Let's get into the card. Ren Jones with Christy Janes was successful as well at Unstoppable, beating Braden Lee with the swag finisher. Now, the men of all men, he walks with swag, he smells like swag, he is confidence personified, and along with Christy Janes by his side, he was able to make light work of Braden Lee. But here's the bigger question. What's going to be next for Ren Jones? Does he have his eyes potentially on a Heritage Championship? Maybe he's going to get a tag team partner and try to go up against Jasi and Calvin Tankman. We're just going to have to find out with this one. But Ren Jones did come out successful, and he looked all so cool in the process. We'll give you more updates on what may be happening with him come Legacy in February. I'm sure you'll be interested. Let's talk about somebody who definitely has not only the technical wrestling ability, but the anger and maybe a little animosity towards his opponents. We're talking about the one and only Fred Yehi. Fred Yehi had a great match with Gary J, but at the end of the day, Fred Yehi won via submission. It's the thing about Fred. You don't want to mess with Fred. You want to make sure that you keep Fred on your good side. If not, well, Gary J will be the first one to tell you that things don't always end up the way you want them to. But now, what's on Fred Yehi's mind? Well, arguably, there's a lot of things on his mind. The man has a lot of things going on upstairs, if you know what I mean. But is he going to be in the World Championship conversation again? What's going to happen with that? Does he want to get his hands on another title? Or is he just going to go headhunting as only Fred Yehi can do? We're going to find out. We're going to find out more, especially with Legacy coming up. Another star who has been making waves in the world of wrestling, not only in Impact Wrestling, but here with us at AAW, Masa Slamovich. Many of you guys know Masa Slamovich as being just the Russian sensation. She is brute strength personified and evil looks compared. Now, she was very, very successful on this night. She was our winner of the Chi-Town Rumble. That's right, all the high competitors in AAW brought it. It was a great Rumble match, but at the end of the day, she prevailed on top. But we know there was a stipulation in that match as well. The stipulation means that any competitor who won the Chi-Town Rumble would also have the opportunity to call their shot for any championship in the future. What happened at the end of the night? Little teaser. But we didn't see the end of Masha at the end of this one. We would go on to see Davey Vega. He defeats Crash Jackson, but there's a little bit more to this story than meets the eye. It wasn't just a simple victory roll, pinning combination. I'd even take foot on the ropes. No, it was our good friend Hartenbauer. He once again got involved again and allowed Davey Vega to pick up the win. This alliance right here, these things that are going on, there's a lot of dissension, but at the end of the day, what helps and soothes everything? A W. He picks up the win against Crash Jackson, and he moves on. What's next? Is the butter churner on his mind? We'll just have to find out. More information about him will also be coming forward. The aforementioned Christy Janes had a match with Sierra. This match was very interesting because it was such a highly profiled match. Many people were waiting for this match to officially happen because it was supposed to happen and then it kind of didn't. And then it was going to happen and it kind of didn't. And now it's finally on. The AAW audience could not wait to finally see the two women clash in a match that was so highly anticipated. Now, some of you know the AAW Women's Championship is one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious women's championship in all of professional wrestling. This match had all eyes on it, but something happened before. A DDT before the bell, trying to sneak out the win early. And guess what happened? Yep. When you do that, it's not a real good idea because breaking rules doesn't just hurt yourself, but it also hurts your opponent. With that being said, Sierra DDT before the bell, and she ends up losing the match to Christy Janes. Now, she wasn't done for the night, not by any stretch. Masa Slamovich did come back out. She came back after the Chi-Town Rumble and said, you know what? I think it's time to cash in my championship match. Chrissy Jane couldn't believe what she was hearing. Masha went in and she promptly disposed of Christy Jane. And now she's not only the Chi-Town Rumble winner, but she is now your AAW Women's Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations to Masa Slamovich, who had a tremendous night at Unstoppable. So many things are happening in the women's division. What's going to happen with this? Is Christy Jane going to somehow want to come after Masa? Is there going to be some type of rematch? Is there something that could be in the works? Maybe. We have Legacy, as I mentioned before, that's going to be coming up on February the 17th from the Berwyn Eagles Club. Now, no matches have yet been officially signed to paper yet, but we have high speculation of what may happen. That's the interesting part. You got to stay tuned to AAW to find out where exactly things are going. But tickets are, in fact, on sale now, so don't be that person. Get your tickets now, aawpro.com/tickets. Moving on, another great match we had. Jake Something. I want to talk about Jake Something for a second before we go further. Jake Something has been someone that Trent Zaberry, myself, Kevin Kellum have talked about as far. He's not exactly your prototypical AAW champion. Now, he is the antithesis of what an AAW champion would be. He is brash, he is confident, he is cocky, but he does things his way. He's very much a outcast. He's very much I work on my own terms and I do my own thing, much like a former rattlesnake we once knew. But what was going to happen later on in the night? Was he going to be able to take on the quintessential love of AAW, Mr. Mance Warner, or are we going to see Jake Something continue his reign of terror and go through yet another beloved AAW star? Very interesting here. Love to know what your thoughts are about Jake Something and his title reign so far in AAW. With that being said, let's get right to the match. This was a match that was announced prior to the big event with Mance Warner coming out and saying, you know what, I've officially come home. He challenged Jake Something to the main event that happened at Unstoppable. Incredible match. It went back and forth. Unfortunately, as we talked about before, there's always the highs like Masa, and unfortunately, sometimes there are the lows. And our good buddy Mance Warner got a low blow, which allowed Jake Something to retain the championship. Now, that's not exactly something that Jake Something should be proud of. And I can tell you, Mance Warner did not feel like that was a fair shake. But what happened next left so many people stunned and excited and wondering what in the world was going to be happening next. Now, just as Mance Warner was about to say, you know what? We're 1-1. We need to have ourselves a rubber match. Well, Manser came out and he told everybody. But then guess what? Manders said, you know what? I'm going to win the world championship. And when I win it, I'll give you a shot, Mance Warner. But you're not just going to come around here and start claiming that you've got the spot. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen? Is Manders going to be involved in some capacity? Are we going to get another rematch? What's going to happen here? So many interesting things are going to be happening. Look forward to what's going to be going down on Legacy on February the 17th from the Berwyn Eagles Club. Now, are you in Camp Mance Warner? Are you in Camp Jake Something? What about Manders? How do you feel about him at this point? He came up short in the Chi-Town Rumble, which he did say he was going to win, and then he was going to go ahead and take on the champion. But what now? What happens to Manders? We're going to have to find out. So many interesting things that are happening around the world title scene right now. As I mentioned earlier in the show, this was an incredible year for AAW. We had so many electric moments, so many great title changes. I mean, who can forget? Who can forget the Beefer and what he went through to become the champion of the tournament? And now seeing where he is now, who's going to be the Beefer of 2023? Could it be somebody we least expect? Could it be somebody that we already know well? That's the beauty. You just never know who's going to have their shining moment. And there's going to be plenty of shining moments once again on February the 17th at Legacy. Guys, tickets are on sale right now. I'm begging you, do not wait. Get that credit card out. Go ahead and go to aawpro.com/tickets and get your tickets today. So many things are happening. You can also go ahead and continue to support AAW Pro. Go all on our social medias. We're going to give those out, and go ahead and follow us. Click on the YouTube, follow us, subscribe so you never miss a single piece of information that's coming out of the world of AAW Pro. As exciting as things are in the world of professional wrestling, all of us here at AAW Pro would like to take a moment to speak about an incredible individual, not just an incredible wrestler, but even a better human being. Recently, the wrestling world has lost Jay Briscoe. He was one of the most charismatic and talented athletes, one half of the Briscoe brothers. Jay has been a part and a champion in so many professional wrestling organizations. Jay would love to have had a chance to be in AAW along with all of us. Unfortunately, schedules just never quite meshed, but many people in AAW have always been touched by the compassion, the love, and the success that he showed not only for professional wrestling, not only for the independent wrestling scene, but for all the boys and girls in the locker room as well. Jay is known as somebody who put family before business. He was somebody who took care of people inside the ring and did what was best for his opponents. Jay was a very unselfish individual who didn't look at championships and titles as ways to leverage, but he looked at them as a way to tell a story, to make wrestling mean something to audiences, to captivate them, to take them on an emotional journey so they could forget what was going on in their lives. They were Ring of Honor originals, starting back in the ages of 16 and 17 in trampolines in their backyard. Their father, who was a high school wrestling coach, wanted them to join the wrestling team, but they had their sights set on pro wrestling. At young ages of teenagers, they actually found the world of Ring of Honor. Through Ring of Honor, they crossed over in many other locations, New Japan as well, and all over the United States. But the most important thing about Jay Briscoe was he was a family man. He was a brother, and he was somebody who epitomizes what was right about pro wrestling. He cared, and he really cared about the fans. Every single match you would see with Jay Briscoe had a smile on his face. He and his brother would be locked in arm as they would walk back through the curtain laughing. Jay Briscoe was somebody that the wrestling world is going to miss greatly. One of the real, true, dedicated heroes of this industry. Somebody that the kids always loved to get a high five from. Jay Briscoe, we will miss you. You are a legend. The entire wrestling world is saddened, but we are grateful for the opportunity that we had to share the squared circle with you, my friend. If you would like to support the Briscoes, we have some new information right here. You can go to prowrestlingtees.com/dem boys. Once again, prowrestlingtees.com/dem boys. You can also go to shophonor.com. You can also go to aewshop.com/J Briscoe. Now, I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second, but once again, family is the most important thing. And what does AAW represent? Family. AAW is one of the greatest professional wrestling companies in the world today, but they're about family. And that's what Jay was all about. Once again, go ahead and support the family. Go ahead, shop over at prowrestlingtees.com/dem boys, or you can go to shophonor.com, and you can also go to AEW shop/J Briscoe. Great shirt. It's called Reach for the Sky. Proceeds are going to be helping out the family as well. So please make sure that you go ahead and you show some love for the men who put their bodies on the line and gave us memories that we'll share in our hearts for forever. Before we go ahead and we close this episode of AAW Redefined, we also want to mention this. We're coming home, guys. This is a big deal for us. AAW is officially coming home. You know, the WWE has New York, ECW has Philly. And what does AAW have? We have the Berwyn Eagles Club. It's going to be incredible. February the 17th. Huge card that's going to be announced. The matches are going to be announced very, very soon. Tickets are already on sale. So don't wait. Get your tickets today. You can go to aawpro.com/tickets. Go ahead and get them already. You don't want to be the person that gets them at the door because they could be sold out. Now, on top of that, also make sure you follow AAW on all forms of social media. Now, that is AAW Pro on YouTube. That's AAW Pro on Facebook. That's AAW Pro on Instagram. All of them. It's all of them. And make sure when you go over to YouTube to click that like and hit that subscribe bell so you get notifications on everything that's happening in the world of AAW. Guys, this has been an incredible episode. This is just kicking off the new year, 2023. And you know what? There's that tagline again. This is AAW. This is professional wrestling. This is professional wrestling redefined.